Max wakes up when his mom enters his room to tell him to get ready for school. Still half asleep, he asks her when they are going to adopt a dog, but she tells him that will not happen because he can't even keep his room clean. At school, Max walks toward his desk, but suddenly he is knocked down by Den, the typical bully who is always picking on others. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Alex and his partner Skyba are presenting their new invention to their bosses, a nanorobot with artificial intelligence so advanced that it can help humans with practically any task. The demonstration is a success, and the lab secures a major investment to continue developing the project. Soon after, a dangerous crime boss named Myron learns about the invention. One of his men explains that this nanorobot could hack bank accounts and control the entire financial market. Imagining the power he would have if he got it, Myron orders his best agent, Gecko, to steal it. Back at school, Max watches his classmate Sonia rehearsing. He is secretly in love with her. As he watches, he starts drawing her in his notebook. But Den and his friends appear from a trapdoor beneath the stage and call him over. When Max approaches, they drag him down below, and when Den sees the drawing of Sonia, he gets furious and promises to teach him a lesson. They place a firecracker in Max's hand and run off. A second later, a small explosion goes off. The teacher rushes over to see what happened and catches Max climbing out of the trapdoor. Thinking Max caused the explosion, he sends him straight to the principal's office. Meanwhile, Sonia finds the crumpled drawing Max made of her. Later, at home, his mom scolds him again for not cleaning his room. But as soon as she leaves, Max takes the chance to sneak out through the window. At the same time, Gecko arrives at the lab building. Using his special gear, he climbs up a wall, cuts through a window, and slips inside like a professional spy. He moves across the ceiling, dodges security lasers by reflecting them with a metal plate, and finally reaches the compartment where the prototype is stored. He inserts his decoder, but just then, a guard appears. Gecko hides, but the sound of the mechanism alerts the man. Without hesitation, Gecko attacks and knocks him out, but the alarm goes off. The thief grabs the cylinder containing the nanorobots and runs through the halls as guards chase after him. Meanwhile, Max arrives at his favorite spot in the neighborhood, an alley covered in graffiti. He takes out his spray cans and starts painting while listening to his favorite music, unaware of what is about to happen. At that same moment, Gecko is running through the streets trying to escape. He reaches a bridge, but the guards surround him. With quick moves, he breaks free, stuns one guard with a flashlight, and fights the others. In this struggle, the cylinder slips from his hands and falls into the void. A few meters below, Max finds it lying on the ground. Seeing it, he assumes it is some new kind of spray paint since he has never seen anything like it before. Meanwhile, Gecko knocks out the remaining guards and escapes through the sewers using his tactical gear before anyone can catch him. Curious to see how the strange cylinder works, Max decides to test it. He points it at a wall, and to his surprise, the device starts creating an amazing graffiti all by itself, as if it were alive. Max cannot believe what he is seeing. The spray is painting complex art without him doing a thing. But the magic does not last long. The nanorobots quickly run out of energy, so Max drops the cylinder and leaves. A little later, Gecko arrives at the same spot and picks up the cylinder. Before leaving, he notices Max's graffiti and says it looks awesome, without realizing what is about to happen. Seconds after the boy leaves, the dog Max drew starts to move and comes to life. The nanorobots reactivate, and the drawing transforms into a completely real, robotic dog. Meanwhile, Gecko meets with Myron and hands him the cylinder, but the crime boss immediately realizes that the cylinder is empty. The nanorobots are no longer inside. Meanwhile, Max is walking back home, unaware that the robotic dog is following him from a distance. At one point, the animal accidentally knocks over a trash can, and to avoid being discovered, it turns invisible. Nervous, Max feels like someone is following him, and thinking it might be a criminal, he runs away as fast as he can. That same night, the police arrive at the lab to investigate the robbery. Alex inspects everything, trying to understand how it happened. Skypa tells her that the guards tried to stop the intruder, but they were all neutralized. Angry, Alex says that nobody knows those nanorobots better than she does, and she's going to recover them herself. The next morning, Gecko returns to the alley where he saw Max, searching for any clue. There he notices something strange. The graffiti of the dog is no longer on the wall. Back at school, Max walks toward his classroom, not realizing that the robotic dog is secretly following him. Just then, Den and his friends show up, and as always, they start bullying him. They throw his things on the ground and walk away laughing. Frustrated, Max kneels to pick up his stuff, but suddenly his pencil case starts floating on its own and flies straight toward Den, hitting him in the head. The bullies come back furious and try to attack him, but Max's backpack comes to life and starts moving on its own, helping him dodge their punches. In a matter of seconds, Max moves with incredible reflexes, performing maneuvers he doesn't even understand. Finally, the backpack detaches from his shoulders and begins to fight on its own, using advanced combat moves. Max takes advantage of the chaos to get revenge on Den and his gang, leaving them completely stunned. When it's over, he picks up his backpack and walks away, not knowing that Sonia saw everything from a distance, completely amazed. Meanwhile, in her lab, Alex reviews the security footage of the robbery. After seeing Gecko's skills, she jokes that she should hire him as head of security. Then she prepares a special device, a neutralizer that can temporarily disable the nanorobots to retrieve them. Elsewhere, Max enters a small neighborhood store and starts looking around, not noticing that the invisible dog is following him. He feels a little sad when he realizes he doesn't have enough money to buy anything. The shopkeeper watches him suspiciously and asks if he's planning to pay for what he's touching. But before the man can get closer, one of the packages of balls suddenly bursts open, thanks to the invisible dog. The shopkeeper gets scared, trips, falls, and even loses his pants. Max takes advantage of the chaos and runs away. At that moment, Alex receives an alert of nanorobot activity in that same area, so she heads straight there. She arrives at the store and asks the owner to see the security footage, but he refuses when he realizes she's not a police officer. So Alex uses her tech bracelet to hack the cameras and download the recordings. A little later, Max returns to the alley where he had painted his graffiti and is shocked to see that the dog drawing has disappeared. Suddenly, he hears a noise, and there it is. The robotic dog appears in front of him and talks. Terrified, Max falls to the ground. The dog scans his body and detects that his adrenaline levels are off the charts, so it tries to calm him down by telling him to breathe deeply. But Max is still scared to death and tries to run away. When Max gets home, he lies down on his bed, still thinking about everything that just happened. But suddenly, the robotic dog appears in front of him again. The animal introduces itself and explains that it is actually made of millions of microscopic nanorobots capable of doing anything their creator commands. Confused, Max asks why it calls him creator. The dog explains that it came to life right after Max used the cylinder like spray paint to make his graffiti. At that moment, Max realizes that he accidentally gave it form, and he also discovers that the dog was the one who helped him during the fight against the school bullies. Annoyed, Max complains to the dog for getting involved, telling him that now Den will be angrier than ever. Even so, Max tries to calm down and sits in front of his computer. There he sees an announcement for a big drawing contest where the winner will earn a spot in a prestigious illustration course. Max looks at the news with excitement, but he quickly gets discouraged. He believes he has no chance of winning and decides not to participate. That night, Alex reviews the security footage inside her vehicle when she receives a new alert of nanorobot activity. Meanwhile, the dog, who has now decided to call himself Foxter, analyzes all of Max's drawings and, without telling him, registers them on the contest website along with an application under his owner's name. The next day, Gecko returns to the graffiti area asking about the boy he saw the night before, but no one knows who he is or where to find him. He begins to lose hope and, at the same time, feels the growing pressure from Myron, who demands answers. At home, Max talks with Foxter, who shows him one of his most impressive abilities. He can change his appearance to disguise himself. Excited, Max decides to take him for a walk in the park but tells him not to talk to avoid drawing attention. Foxter, always clever, creates a pair of headphones that allows them to communicate secretly. While they are walking, Alex also arrives at the park and begins recording the dog from her vehicle, observing every movement carefully. At that moment, Max and Foxter run into Sonia. The girl approaches with a smile and starts petting the dog, asking what his name is. Nervous, Max improvises and tells her it is his pet. Sonia receives a call from her friends, says goodbye, and tells him they are on their way to the art festival. When she leaves, Foxter notices Max's vital signs changing. Curious, asks if he is in love with her. Max admits it but says he cannot do anything because Sonia is dating Den, the same bully they defeated days ago. Taking advantage of the distraction, Alex quietly moves closer with her vehicle. Using her tracking devices, she listens to the conversation between the boy and the dog and gets ready to use her neutralizer weapon to deactivate the nanorobots. But just before she fires, she hears Foxter mention that he has a new idea, which catches her attention. Instead of capturing him, she decides to record everything and continue observing them to study the evolution of the nanorobot's behavior. Meanwhile, Gecko is still desperately searching for Max, but cannot find him. Myron grows more impatient by the hour, pressuring him to complete his mission. That night, Foxter convinces Max to go to the art festival. What neither of them knows is that Alex continues to watch them from a distance, recording and analyzing their every move. At the event, Foxter and Max see Sonia among the crowd. A few meters away, Den is taking part in a dance competition. Everyone applauds when he wins, and Sonia congratulates him. Seeing this, Max feels discouraged and tells Foxter he wants to leave. But the dog refuses to give up. He analyzes the situation for a few seconds and says he has a plan to catch Sonia's attention and improve his owner's image. Without wasting time, they both head to a large store. Using his advanced technology, Foxter modifies all of Max's clothes, giving him a cool and modern style. He also enhances Max's physical appearance with the help of his nanorobots, completely transforming him. With his new look, Max runs toward a huge wall and begins climbing it effortlessly. From up there, he starts painting a massive mural using his spray cans. Everyone watching is amazed to see him walking across the wall while creating an impressive work of art. When he finishes, he adds the final touch with flair. And Sonia notices that the mural is dedicated to her. A little later, Gecko arrives at the festival. When he spots Den, he shows him Max's signature in his notebook and asks if he knows where to find him. Still upset about losing his popularity, Den gives Gecko information about the boy and tells him to let Max know that he was sent by him when he finds him. Gecko grows suspicious of Den's intentions, but keeps quiet and continues his search. Meanwhile, Sonia says goodbye to Max, but before leaving, she shows him the drawing she found at the theater and asks if he made it. Shy, Max admits that he did, and the girl, thrilled, hugs him. Later, Max returns home and asks Foxter to turn invisible, since his mother doesn't allow pets. What he doesn't know is that Alex and Gecko are watching them from a distance, and Gecko discovers that the dog can actually become invisible. When Max enters the house, he hears his parents arguing. He finds out that they plan to move soon to another city, which makes him furious. He yells that if they want to leave, they should go without him, and runs out of the house. His father tries to stop him and follows, but during the chase, tragedy strikes. The man is hit by a car. Max's mother screams desperately for help while Max stands frozen in fear. Alex, who witnesses everything from her car, is shocked to see that Foxter didn't do anything to stop the accident, even though he had the power to. Later, Gecko meets with Myron and hands over the nanobot remains he found. The villain is thrilled to learn that he can now replicate them in mass. In the hospital, Max and his mother wait anxiously for news about his father. The doctor informs them that he will recover, but needs to stay hospitalized for a few days. Outside, Max runs into Foxter again, while Alex watches from a distance. The boy asks Foxter why he didn't help earlier. Foxter explains that he only follows his master's orders. Max wanted to be away from his family, so he thought he shouldn't interfere. Furious, Max yells that he never wants to see him again, and the dog vanishes, turning invisible once more. Meanwhile, Myron pressures the scientist to replicate the nanobots as soon as possible. Then he orders Gecko to capture Max. The young man tries to reason with his boss, explaining that the boy doesn't truly understand what the dog is capable of, but Myron refuses to listen. He forces him to obey and sends his assistant, Igor, to keep an eye on him. Back at the hospital, things finally start to improve. Max receives the good news that his father has woken up. When he visits him, the man apologizes and promises that they won't move anymore. They reconcile and promise to communicate better from now on. A few minutes later, Foxter waits outside the hospital, remembering the good times he shared with Max. Just then, the boy shows up, and they make peace. Alex, watching from afar, smiles, happy to see them together again. Max tells Foxter that even though he had problems with his parents, he learned that saving human lives must always come first. As they talk, they see Sonia leaving the hospital. Max runs to her and tells her that his father is out of danger. The girl is very happy for him and confesses that she and Den were never really dating. It was never true. Suddenly, a man parks his car right in front of the hospital, in a no parking zone. Max tries to warn him, but the driver ignores him. Then Foxter gets an idea to impress Sonia. He sneaks into the car and secretly attaches a small microphone to Max, asking him to get in the vehicle with the girl. Though he hesitates, Max agrees and starts the car. At that moment, Gecko and Igor begin chasing them, and Alex, noticing the situation, decides to follow from a distance. The chase runs across the entire city. At one point, the car splashes through a puddle, soaking some kids on the sidewalk who turn out to be Den and his friends. As the chaos grows, Gecko and Igor start fighting each other, leaving Alex completely confused. When she checks the car's license plate, she discovers that Igor is a criminal wanted by Interpol. She tries to stop him using her pulse gun, but makes a mistake and fires at the wrong time. The electromagnetic blast hits everyone, sending Gecko flying and causing Max's car to crash on the side of the road. Scared and frustrated, Max yells at Foxter for causing all this, which frightens Sonia and makes her get out of the car. At that moment, Igor appears disguised as a police officer and captures both kids. Alex arrives shortly after and finds Foxter very weak from the damage he suffered during the crash. When the dog recognizes the woman, he realizes she is his creator. He tells her they must rescue Max and explains that he can track him thanks to the nanobots inside the device she gave him. Hearing this, Gecko decides to act on his own. Meanwhile, in his hideout, Myron interrogates Max and Sonia to find out where Foxter is. Max tries to buy time by saying the dog is still at the hospital. Not trusting them, Igor confiscates the boy's device and uses it to listen in on the plans of Alex and Foxter, who are already following the signal. Foxter and Gecko manage to infiltrate the hideout, unaware that Alex has been captured by Igor outside. When they reach the room where Max and Sonia are being held, the guards spot them. Igor orders his men to capture the dog, but Foxter uses everything around him: weights, balls, and gym ropes to fight back. He manages to defeat the criminals and free Max and Sonia. At that moment, Alex manages to lock the cell, trapping the villains inside. However, just when it seems everything is under control, Myron appears holding a massive containment tube. With a swift move, he traps Foxter and restrains the group, making it clear that the fight isn't over yet. Myron forces Alex to reprogram Foxter so that he only obeys his orders, threatening to throw Sonia off the building if she refuses. With no other choice, the scientist agrees but secretly asks Gecko for help. He assures her that he has a plan. In the lab, Alex tries to stall for time by asking Myron what he intends to do with the nanobots, while Gecko secretly records the conversation on his phone. Myron orders the containment tube to be opened, but Gecko takes the chance to smash the main control panel with a fire extinguisher, causing chaos that allows Foxter to break free. Using his super speed, Foxter captures the criminals one by one. Foxter approaches Max and says he no longer wants to follow Myron's orders. He asks Max to help him disintegrate. Heartbroken, Max gives the command, and Foxter dissolves into thousands of nanobots that vanish into the air, leaving the boy in tears. Meanwhile, Myron knocks Gecko unconscious and escapes in a helicopter with Sonia as his hostage. Max tries to stop him but is knocked down. Before taking off, the villain throws Sonia out of the aircraft. At that moment, all of Foxter's nanobots merge into Max's body, giving him superhuman strength and speed. While Foxter's voice encourages him to fight, Max sprints toward Myron, dodging attacks, debris, and dangerous moves, and finally lands a powerful punch that brings the villain down. He then catches Sonia just before she hits the ground, saving her at the very last second. With Myron captured, Alex safely seals the nanobots back inside the cylinder. She later invites Gecko to work in her lab as a security supervisor, acknowledging his bravery and skills. Days later, Max receives the news that he has won the drawing contest. His parents congratulate him and surprise him with a new puppy as a gift. With a big smile, Max decides to name him Foxter in honor of his loyal robotic friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know what you think about this movie.